Hi everyone, hello and welcome to this slightly newer fangled looking update video. I'm of course the Black Shadow. It is March 7th, 2021, and I want to just offer a very quick apology before we get underway. Not so much on the YouTube, but on the Twitch side of things. That things have been a bit quieter than perhaps they normally would be. I basically blame national lockdown here in the UK. I mean, we've been in lockdown for like the 3 of the past 4 months, effectively. And we've still got another several weeks of it to go, and it's been difficult. There is a definite fatigue and malaise around it all, and it is affecting me somewhat, and I make no bones about it. It's not a case of like I'm not enjoying doing YouTube series or the Twitch series anymore, but it's just a case sometimes building up the motivation occasionally to do it has been difficult because I've spent so much of my time since I've been here within these 4 walls, and it has been more difficult than perhaps I anticipated, and I'm very much looking forward to it all being over, which there isn't too much longer now, and thank God for that, because I might be starting to go a little bit crazy, and that's not good. Anyway, so I'm going to talk a bit more about Twitch in a moment. I am going to be looking to fast track a few series I was going to be doing on that. Mainly Resident Evil wise, specifically Resident Evil Remake Randomizer. We can return to that, as well as the run of Resident Evil 4 on Hang On Professional. But I'll talk more about it a little bit later on. We are here to start off with YouTube, which is exactly where we are. Before we get into anything future-wise, I want a quick recap of the series that we've done so far. Dead Space has been really good and enjoyable. We just finished that off a couple of days or so ago. I wanted to finish off that series before I did this update, hence why it's a little bit on the late side. It's been a really good game. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been a little bit rough at times. There's a couple of things here and there I'm like, not sure that's aged particularly well. But what it has done is made me incredibly interested and hyped for doing Dead Space 2, which I will be looking to record tomorrow is the plan. Of course, it's always kind of odd for me as doing this channel when I do these sorts of games that I know a vast majority of you guys have seen and have played. And I know that I'm in the minority of having not actually touched them. Which I think kind of makes it cool for you, though. I like to think that a lot of you guys, you get to see these games that you've not played for a while. Perhaps you've played them a lot and you know them well, and you get to see them through a fresh set of eyes who's never played them, who's experiencing everything for the first time. And I think it's a nice kind of, if it's not just a nostalgia blast, then it's a way to kind of perhaps find new ways to appreciate these sort of games, perhaps again. I don't necessarily know. All I know is that I've enjoyed the game and you guys have enjoyed the game, and if Dead Space 2 doesn't live up to its billing, I'm going to be incredibly, incredibly disappointed. But I'm fairly confident it's going to be good, though. I'll be looking to record that tomorrow, and with any luck, get up the first video of that later that day, but it might not be till Tuesday. I've been doing some testing of the game as well. We had a couple of graphical issues at the beginning of Dead Space 1. Which I was alerted to and managed to fix. I've already done the work ahead of time for Dead Space 2. Everything's been running nice and smooth, and everything's looking good, so that should be pretty solid there. Alongside that has been a game I've enjoyed doing a hell of a lot more than I thought I would, and that is the Patreon request from Blues3 for Kessen 2. And it's wacky, yes. It's kind of nonsense at times. It is larger than life. There's a lot of ways to describe Kessen 2, but what it has been is really, really enjoyable and just a lot of fun. And I think, as far as I'm concerned, it's probably a series that I've needed to do. Just given all the lockdown and being stuck inside so damn much. To take something that's not all that serious, that's kind of... It's not comedy, but it definitely veers on the outrageous when it wants to. And it's just been a really good laugh, not something hyper intense where I can just sort of sit back a little bit and kind of let put in some inputs here and there, do a bit of commanding here, do a bit of battling there, but more and offs, and just let the game do its own thing, and just say, let it tell its own story. And it's been really, really satisfying and enjoying to do that. We've done the Shoe storyline now. We've already made a beginning on the Wayside, which shouldn't take too long. It's about as long as the Shoe storyline, if slightly shorter. There are a couple of secret battles that you can unlock for the Shu and Wei side. There's one each for basically completing the game on a harder difficulty than what you start off with. You have to replay the game. And while admittedly, if I had just chosen to do this game myself, I don't think I would have done them. Given the fact that Bluestree was a very incredibly generous individual regarding the series, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go ahead and look to do them, to show them off, to document them. If it means I get to spend more time in Huang Yueying's presence, then that can't be a bad thing. She is so crazy. It's admirable. A whole lot of the cast are just absurd. But that's part of the charm, I think, of the game. It's been really enjoyable. I'm really glad I've done the series, and it will be a great shame when it's over. I've been asked a little bit about both Kessen 1 and Kessen 3. I've never played Kessen 1, so I can't really have much to say about it. Kessen 3 is a game I have played a bit more. It's not quite as wacky as Kessen 2. I mean, whether that's for the better or not, I don't necessarily know. But it still has its definite moments. But I might look to do Kessen 3 some point down the line, or Kessen 1. We shall see. Now, the big thing to make mention regardless, obviously we're also doing a Road to the Three Kingdoms as well with Alonso. Make a quick mention for that as well. It's hard to know how much longer there is to go with that game at this point. There is a lot of stuff going on. Me and Alonso are now physically in conflict with each other, which makes predicting things very difficult, as if they weren't hard enough to predict anyways, of the way this series has gone. It has been crazy. I suspect that the length of the series is going to be kind of fairly easier to predict once the next session or two is sat down and it's recorded and it's done. The smoke will clear and it will be, I think, somewhat obvious how things are going to go. Probably. If not, then that's probably for the better for me, because I'm definitely the underdog currently, as I have been for some time in the series. It's just the way things have been. But still enjoying it. But it's always nice to sit down with Alonso and do it. And while it has been, I think it's been a year since we started the series, which is kind of crazy. I'm still glad to have done it. It was one of the games that got me into doing this hobby in the first place, believe it or not. So it's been nice to go through what has been a pretty outrageous scenario, where we put ourselves in some pretty tough spots and have had to kind of scrap for existence ever since. Apart from Alonso, he's got a good foothold now. For me, not so much. All right, so the next thing to talk about on the channel is upcoming series, and what better place to start is there than Resident Evil Village. We are 2 months to the day of this game being released, and to keep things short and brief, I am very much looking forward to this game, and I think that this is going to be a very, very good game. And I will be asking some serious questions if it's not, as will a lot of people. I think they've got the premise, I think they've got the plot, they've got the intrigue, and thanks to Lady Dimitrescu over the past couple of months, they've definitely got some of the hype, because the internet is really the internet it wants to be. But yeah, I really think this is going to be a very, very good game, and I'll be very disappointed if it's not. Much like with Resident Evil Remakes 2 and 3, when I did those on the channel upon release, there will be plenty of content coming out, I should say. The intention will be to get up multiple videos uploaded a day, to kind of keep up with the fact that obviously there's going to be gobs of content out this on the YouTubes, the internet. And for those of you that are going to be willing and offering to watch my series of it, and maybe if some of you are even crazy enough to say the first content I want to see of this game is from this channel, then I thank you incredibly, incredibly much. You are too kind. And your generosity is more than humbly appreciated, to put it mildly. I haven't actually pre-ordered this game yet, it should be stated. I've been kind of waiting for some tech specs. I am probably going to get this game on PC, I just haven't particularly done it yet. But, like, I don't see how this game is going to be bad, On a subjective level, the game's kind of appeal is not going to carry to everyone, much like with Remakes 2 and 3. I know that not everyone on the channel who's watched a lot of the classic stuff is particularly in favor of the idea of Village. They think, you might feel that it's kind of a bit too ridiculous, and you might yet be proven to be right. There's some pretty crazy concepts going on with the whole werewolves, and there's vampires. Of course, they're not actually werewolves or vampires. It's all virus induced. It's just that's the kind of wouldn't say symbolism, but more the kind of what's being used as a backbone, as an early game plot driver, basically. A familiarity, if you will. But no, I honestly suspect this game is going to be absolutely fantastic, and that it will be incredible joy to play in 2 months. It should be awesome. Speaking as well of other upcoming series, this also brings me quite nicely to Back for Blood, the so-called Left 4 Dead 3, being developed by Turtle Rock Studios. Now, I've mentioned about this before, and I do want to make a quick mention about Back for Blood. We did the alpha for this about 2 months ago, whenever it was now. And for those who sat down and watched it will know that I thought actually that was not bad for an alpha. You know, I thought it was pretty solid. I like some of the concepts. I think this is honestly more than just Left 4 Dead 3. There's more going on than just that. However, there is a problem with this game. And it's not the game itself. I think it's going to be fine. I think it could actually be very enjoyable. My problem with this game is this. This game is a lot of money. This game's 50 quid for the base version. That's like 60, 65 bucks. The Ultimate Edition is £90. That's like $110. That's a lot of money to be asking for people for a game which is still somewhat viewed and thought of as Left 4 Dead 3. And it makes me kind of nervous, to be honest, because the problem is you start pricing people out of a game, you reduce your player base, only for something like this, you make it a worse game. Now, if this game was, say, maybe like, I don't know, 30 quid or something, I think you'd have quite a lot of pickers when this game comes out, but 50 quid is... I had a debate with someone a couple of days ago about this, about Back 4 Blood, and they were saying, you know, like with the alpha saying, no, they played it on like, you know, I'm not paying 50 quid for this game. And I'm like, you played an alpha. An alpha is never going to be worth 50 quid. You could play the best alpha in history, and you probably wouldn't pay 50 quid for it. Unless you're either being subjectively dishonest, or just have no idea what you're talking about. There's maybe one or two exceptions, but this is beside the point. Anyways, what I'm trying to get at here is I do think this game needs to convince people to pay 50 quid for it. Because that's a big sell for what is being still reviewed. Let me try it again. What is still being viewed as a Left 4 Dead 3, you know, and when you think Left 4 Dead 2 has been out for over 10, 11 years, or however long it's been, like 12 something years. And yeah, you make this a difficult proposition for people to buy for that amount of money. I'm probably still going to get this game, I suspect, in some form or another, but I am very nervous about this. So I'm hoping that there's going to be a beta for this game out, maybe like next month, maybe like even into May. And I would suggest that if you're floating interest in this game, and if a beta for this does come out, 110% play it. Like, for sure. Because I think that will give you a more accurate representation of if you're willing to spend 50 quid for this game or not. I would not judge it for an alpha. I would never judge it upon an alpha. I don't think that's fair, because if you always judge things on the first thing you saw of them in still like 6 months of development to go, you'd never buy a damn thing. So I would definitely suggest folks to look to go ahead and do that. And hopefully the game proves people wrong and it's like, you know, this is actually really, really good and entertaining, enjoyable, and it works out. But I'm only cautiously optimistic at this moment, and that is not something that I want to be saying for this game, to be honest. But hey ho. Alright, so the last thing to be talking about is going to be the Twitch side of things. As I've mentioned at the start of the video, things have been a little bit on the quiet side over the past couple of weeks, or even month or so. We've had some good stuff that we have done, though. Recently, you see at the top here, returned to Alone in the Dark for the New Nightmare, which is a series I did on YouTube like 6-7 years ago, and I hadn't played it for ages. I'm still on a bit of kind of a horror sort of kick and sci-fi horror kick, and thus I thought it'd be a really nice opportunity to go ahead and replay it. The game is still not the easiest to run. We had a glitch boss fight twice, and I also managed to soft lock the game. But other than that, things went pretty well. We also actually even also made a quick delve into Dead Space's impossible mode because we finished the game pretty early on Friday. And obviously a lot of folks on the YouTube channel asked me about if I was something I was willing to do, and I was like, I thought, what the hell? Let's spend 3 hours and see what it's like. And we got through the first 3 chapters of the game without incident. Like, I didn't die. I don't think I really even came close to dying, which was a little disappointing, to be honest. I was expecting things to be a lot more difficult than they were, and it's either a case of I had gotten really good at the game, or maybe it just needed to be more difficult. But I'm not too fussed either way. The important thing for me is looking ahead to Dead Space 2, which obviously we're recording tomorrow, is the plan. So that's more of a concern for me. I was never intending to finish the series either, for that matter, but it should still be pretty good, though, and that was the case. On top of that as well, we've also been doing Left 4 Dead 2. I've been revisiting as well, which has been cool. What I've been doing with folks on the Twitch channel, earning all these hard-earned channel points, I've had no use for any of them. People have been putting in suggestions on Twitch streams for various bits and pieces that they want to do, or streams they're looking forward. I've got a list here which I'm currently sort of sifting through, working out what I can and can't realistically do, throwing in with a couple of ideas on my own side as well, basically. So I would encourage anyone to go ahead and do that. So we need to talk about what I'm actually looking to do on Twitch over the next few weeks or so. I've mentioned a couple of these already. In particular, Resident Evil wise. We'll start off with the Remake Randomizer. This is the Remake Randomizer that was made by Ben Powell. You can find it on the internet. Just look up Resident Evil Remake Randomizer. You'll find it very, very quickly. We've done it on the Twitch channel a fair few times in the past, and they've always been pretty entertaining and enjoyable. There's a lot of crazy, crazy stuff that goes on. This kind of came about because I was talking with the Syndicate, the guys I've done podcasts with previously, and it turns out that quite a few of them have never actually seen the randomizer, even though some of them have played the game, base game, quite a lot. And I'm like, have you never seen this? So obviously I directed them to some links, bits and pieces, and I thought, why don't I do it like one last time? And I legitimately think this could be like the last time I ever play this randomizer. I mean, I suppose never say never in video gaming, but at least for some time, this could be the last time I play this for some fair length of time. And so the plan is I'm going to be doing that on Friday, 5 p.m. GMT, on the Twitch channel. It's going to take a couple of evenings, because they usually do, because there's so much crazy nonsense that goes on, and you never know what you're going to have to do, what order you have to play the game in. Remake is such a uniquely kind of designed game that it works perfectly for a randomizer, because there's all these different branches you can take, and you can kind of interchange between them. It's fascinating how the game ultimately kind of hubs around the garden as well. It just works perfectly for this sort of game, so that should be really, really awesome. So the second thing, as far as Twitch is concerned, is Resident Evil 4. So this came sort of partially because of Shotgun Jen, actually, who she's down like there, I think, for something for you guys. And she got a suggestion on her channel not too long ago to do a handgun only run of Resident Evil 4, which she went ahead and she did and finished not all that long ago. Now, when we did the knife run of Resident Evil 0 back in September, because I do these kind of like yearly, the idea was that Resident Evil 4, doing a run of that, was going to be the next thing that I go ahead and do. I think I'm going to bring the game forward. I don't know why, but I have currently an inch to currently take it on. Maybe it's a case of me trying to kind of, reignite a little bit for Twitch. I'm a little unsure. You can take it whichever way you want. However, that's going to be the plan. I don't know when exactly it's going to be. I've wishlisted the game on PC because it just makes it the easiest to play and record and stream for everything. Otherwise, I have to have like these kind of ad hoc sort of setups or whatever else. And whenever the game next goes on sale, maybe it might go on sale before Resident Evil Village comes out. Maybe it will be on sale once Village comes out. I have no idea. It will be on sale in the summer at the very least. We are going to go ahead and do a run of it. It will be Resident Evil 4. It will be professional. It will be base handgun only. I will not upgrade the handgun, and I will not use another weapon in the books. We won't use rifles, machine guns. I'm going to be banning grenades. It's going to be nothing but base handgun, which I hate, knife, melee, wits, and dumb luck. basically, and it should be great entertainment. Say it's as close as you get to can for a knife run the game. You can't physically knife run Resident Evil 4 because there are a couple of bosses which require, in situations where you have to actually shoot the enemies or use some other kind of tool, be it like Del Lago in the lake. Obviously, you have to use the harpoon sort of thing. Also, the concept of me like running with just a knife only in all other spots seems too brutal even for me. So I'm going to allow myself at least the base handgun, so that I have a modicum of chance of actually finishing the game within the space of a year. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. I'll let you guys know of a date closer to the time when it's going to happen. It kind of depends when the game next goes on sale, so I can pick it up a little bit cheaper because, you know, got to stretch them bounds. So yeah, that's pretty much everything as far as the Twitch thing is concerned. The only thing I will quickly say, as always, be it on the Twitch or else, if people have got suggestions of games that they'd like to see me do, as far as something more community-wise, I tend to do like on the Sundays, you know, with Left 4 Dead. I've been like done the Jackboxes recently. You know, we've done Among Us every now and again. Other bits and pieces. Please let me know either on the Twitch streams or the YouTube, because ultimately, it's what you guys want to do matters as much as what I want to do, because it's a community thing. So, you know, please let me know. And the ideas, they do definitely help me out, especially given me just staring at the same four walls every hour of every day, of every week, of every month. So huge thank you to everyone for watching and listening. As always, if you have questions or bits and pieces that I've missed, of which there always is, then please put them in the comment section below. I will respond to them as soon as YouTube tells me that you've sent them. You can also as well get in contact with Will over on the Twitter sphere at BlackShow993. Where I obviously have posts of obviously the various bits and pieces when they get uploaded. The occasional thing which makes my life seem not quite as dark as it has been in the past. Response as well with regards with the Syndicate and upcoming podcast. There's going to be one for Resident Evil Remake coming out in the summer, which is going to be very, very good to talk about. And sometimes, folks, you just got to spit the true facts. As well, of course, we also have the Patreon as well on the channel, patreon.com/blackshow993. If you wish to make any contribution towards there, everything is greatly appreciated. Everything goes back into the channel. And to be honest, without the Patreon, I wouldn't be here doing some of the things that I'm doing now. It's only because of you guys that I'm able to be able to bring some of the content I've been able to do to the quality that I've been able to do so. So here's to everyone who's contributed over the course of its lifetime. It has been significantly more successful than I could ever have imagined. So a huge thank you. And of course, as always, we do as well have ourselves the we have our Discord server as well. There's a link of that in the video description below. Check out all sorts of bits and pieces of course, our latest releases, threads. Baller Salbu here. I just think he needs some glasses, and he'd be any respectable bouncer anywhere else. We've got our alert section for myself and obviously partners of when they're going live. Our setups as well for Resident Outbreak Online, and all the ways that Azumi is still managing to make world records and break the game. It continues to fascinate me. And yes, of course, as is contractually obliged, or else I get a sound flogging. What have we got today? Which is the fastest growing city in the world? Dublin. Wife told me to take the spider out instead of killing it. We had some drinks. Cool guy. Wants to be a web developer. Maybe I should just take the beating. The bruises will heal, right? You know, arm in a cast for a few weeks. I'll have to think about it. Anyways, folks, thank you all for watching. As always, it's very much appreciated. Hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow for Dead Space 2. And of course, eyes are very heavily looking forward to Resident Evil Village in a couple of months. As I've said, if that game is not good, I'm going to be pretty fucking pissed. Take care, everyone. I'll see you soon.